everybody, and welcome back to more political chatter. In this video, we will be talking about President Joe Biden and how he is clearly losing support among younger voters, a key voting bloc that would be critical for him winning re-election. As this headline says, it's prompting Democratic concerns. Democrats are extremely concerned about Biden's loss of support among young voters, and it really could be detrimental to his 2024 campaign. Young voters are a um, extremely influential and important voting bloc in the Democratic Party. I mean, with margins in states of just less than 1%, like Wisconsin or Arizona, even Georgia, and then there's Pennsylvania, Michigan, Nevada. All these swing states that Biden was able to carry, he just could not have done it without the overwhelming support of younger voters. Of course, younger voters are more progressive, and the Democratic Party has been able to count on them in recent elections to turn out for them. And that is the case for, Senate candidates, House candidates looking in 2024, but not so much President Biden. And this has to do with, many reasons, but it has been highlighted recently in the news because of Biden's, um, um, you know, his refusal to support a ceasefire in Gaza right now. Of course, the war between Israel and Hamas in the Gaza Strip has been going on for more than a month now, and for this entire time, progressives have been calling for an immediate ceasefire, a halt in bombing by Israel. However, Biden has stood firm on his belief that a ceasefire is only benefiting the Hamas terrorists, and he refuses to support one. I mean, there was a massive protest, pretty violent protest outside of the Democratic National Headquarters. If that doesn't tell you something about his chances looking at 2024, I don't know what does. There have been so many protests, but one that I thought was most notable, as I mentioned, was the one outside of the Democratic National Headquarters. I just want to mention this briefly, and I've talked about this before. And, of course, the 1968 Democratic National Convention, where they chose their presidential candidate, Hubert Humphrey, again, 1968. The Vietnam War was raging, right, in Southeast Asia. And there was a huge violent protest outside of the convention. Where was that convention held? Chicago. Where's the 2024 convention going to be held? Chicago. And, they chose Hubert Humphrey in 1968, this pro-Vietnam War candidate, at least at the time of the convention. And looking at Biden, he shares many similarities to Hubert Humphrey in 1968. So that, I think, could definitely be pretty symbolic looking into the 2024 election. And I think that people will realize that, and we could see, another huge protest outside the Democratic National Convention, in whenever they're going to hold it, June or whatever, or August, I don't know, July. But that's getting a bit off topic. Biden is clearly losing ground among young voters, mostly because of this refusal to support a ceasefire. I mean, obviously, younger voters are more progressive. I would say the vast majority want a ceasefire in Gaza. They're in favor of it. And there's also more than that, though. I mean, it's just his age. I know videos of Biden, his gaffes and everything, his just inability to be a good leader, to be a good speaker, flood social media, flood TikTok, and that will be extremely influential. Them being young voters and Biden being, he turned 81 today. He'll be 82 in 2024. And then if he were to be reelected, he would be 86 by the end of his term. So, um, younger voters are not going to appreciate that much. The difference in age, that will definitely be a factor in their voting. Biden is just not relatable to a lot of young voters. Um, so he definitely has to catch he has to catch up among young voters, and I think that will be extremely difficult. But looking at 2024, I mean, it is already definitely having an effect. Because, for the first time, really since 1992, there are actually viable options for younger voters to switch to instead of Biden. I could picture this being a normal election without third party candidates polling at a total of 25%. Younger voters might just bite their tongue and vote for Biden because the opponent is Trump. But this election is different because we have people like Cornel West in the race, Jill Stein in the race, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. in the race. Stein and West are almost running their campaign on right now. An immediate ceasefire in Gaza. They are extremely progressive. Then we have, independent-minded people like Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who might be or who will be an alternative for younger, less far left voters who, maybe they agree with Biden that the ceasefire isn't an option right now. I mean, it's clear because Kennedy is winning 18 to 35-year-old voters. He is leading among them, which is absolutely insane as an independent. So I don't think that people are talking about that nearly enough. It's the fact that Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is winning young voters, and younger voter and 18 to 35-year-olds is such a critical voting block for it was in 2020 for Joe Biden. I mean, when you just look at these margins, Michigan, he won by 3%. Wisconsin, he won by less than a percentage point. Biden won by 0.6%. In Pennsylvania, he won by what, a point? 1.2% in Pennsylvania. And that when you consider, you know, Kennedy is now winning younger voters now, and margins like that of Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania. I mean, Arizona was like 0.2%, 0.3%. It definitely hurts Biden a lot. Is his loss of younger voters. That will be extremely critical. And then you have to factor in Jill Stein, Cornel West, who are absolutely polling directly from Trump. They make up a combined 6% of the vote. And when you look at the margins again, 0.2 in Arizona, 2% in Nevada, 0.6 in Wisconsin, 3 in Wisconsin, or 3 in Michigan, 1.2 in Pennsylvania. It's so critical. Every vote is so critical in this American electorate, where we have a handful of states where the margins are incredibly close. Any single new factor we have to add into the race, and the loss of younger voters among Biden, because number one, Kennedy is in the race, Jill Stein, Cornel West are in the race. Number two, Biden will not support a ceasefire in Gaza. Number three, his age, obviously, he doesn't relate to younger voters. When you factor in those three things, Biden has a hard time has a hard time with a path to re-election in these 6 or so states: Nevada, Arizona, Georgia, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania. It makes it very tough to win these states, when you're losing these such critical young voters, especially when you look at 2016. Looking at Michigan, Donald Trump won the state of Michigan. Oh, where is it? Donald Trump won the state of Michigan by about 0.2, it was 0.23%. Jill Stein won 1% in Michigan in 2016. With that 1% of the vote, I mean, even if Hillary Clinton won half of the Jill Stein vote, if Jill Stein was never in the race, Hillary Clinton would have won the state of Michigan. That goes for the state of Wisconsin, definitely. And also Pennsylvania, 20 electoral votes, a massive amount of electoral votes. If Jill Stein was not in the race, Hillary Clinton, if she won, almost all of Jill Stein's votes, Hillary Clinton would have won the state of Pennsylvania. So Jill Stein won a point here, a point there, and let's see, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is winning among 18 to 35-year-old voters. Jill Stein and Cornel West this time around are taking 6% of the nationwide vote. 6 compared to Jill Stein's 1 back in 2016. Again, it'll be very tough for Biden to recover from this. I mean, again, if it was a one-on-one race, this would be a lot different. But Kennedy, Cornell, Jill Stein shake up this entire thing. Again, it will be very difficult for Biden to recover from this because he needs young voters and he needs to focus on them more. He is not doing anything to win the support of young voters, and that should be his priority right now. So thank you all for watching this video. I hope you all enjoyed. Subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you all later.